This episode is brought to you by who? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Talking Triathlon, a weekly podcast where we get together and talk about all the things that are and are not happening in the sport of triathlon. My name is Tim Ford, and I'm joined by a man with a very special announcement this week. We used to call him the sexiest voice in triathlon. We used to refer to him as the sexy shepherdess, but we will just call him James Bale. Jimbo, mate, how you going?
I'm actually, I'm struggling this week, mate. I'm more pissed off than I've ever been, I think, because I haven't told you this yet, but at the weekend, I went full dumbass and I basically cut the end off my thumb. And I was trying to open a glass container and it wouldn't open. And then it kind of exploded in my hand and I stabbed myself through the thumb with a long shard of glass. And blood was like, you know, when it's sort of spurting. And so I was just like, oh shit. So I was stuck trying to sort it out. Managed to stem the blood, but all week I've had my hand wrapped up. I'm left-handed, it's my left thumb. And I can't do anything, mate. I don't know whether you know how important thumbs are on the hand that you predominantly use in life. Turns out you can't do anything without a thumb. You can't do your trousers up. You can't shower properly. I can't get dressed well enough. I certainly can't go to my pappy place and play my guitar every night, it's doing my head in.
This isn't the announcement I had teased at the start of the show. Mate, that's terrible. Did you see a doctor? Do you need stitches? Like, is it that bad?
No, I think if I'd got to the minor injuries clinic fast enough, they might have glued it. But I kind of bound it up for the day, didn't look at it for a while, and then I did have a peek at it the other day, and it's still flapping a little bit. But
guess here, doctor.
I think it's coming back together. Or I can't do my main problem is the world's a mess at the moment. The only thing I enjoy guaranteed on a daily basis is sitting down at the end of the day and playing my guitar. I can't do that. I can't put any pressure on the back of the neck. I can't wrap my thumb around the top and play the
talking about the guitar right now.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of trying to play my guitar, but it's not working. And I'm just waddling around without a left thumb at the moment. It's annoying the shit out of me.
Well, at least you can run still. How's the marathon prep going? Because that's getting alarmingly
it's going
close.
all right. I've still got a slight hip stiffness, but I think I'm doing okay. I'll be fine. I will be fine. I'm looking forward to that day. How's your training going?
Yeah, it's good. I am ramping up the distance. My long run is up to about 28K now. I did 28K on Sunday. I'm just trying to very slowly, like each week, I'm just trying to add like a kilometer to each run or a couple of extra reps or something, which is good. So my goal is I want to be very, very comfortable running those longer distances, but obviously not get injured. So I'm trying to build a really solid base, doing a bit of tempo stuff, which is good. My paces on those tempo runs I did last week were a bit faster this week, which was good. So everything seems to be okay, except for one weird thing that happened. I'm obviously a bit of a Pilates man these days. I do 3 or 4 Pilates classes a week. And last night, I don't know if you've ever done reformer Pilates, but there's a lot of, you take some weird and somewhat compromising positions on those beds. And we had to do this thing where you had to put one leg on the bench and then the other on the what do you call the thing that slides. And we basically
Did you shit yourself?
No, not that bad. But we have to do basically the splits. So we're doing this thing and I'm like trying to go, again, they keep talking about not many people work the adductors. It's not a very used muscle. I'm like, try riding a bike. Like, trust me, as a cyclist, we have very strong adductors. So my mobility is just atrocious. And the instructor's like, come on, team, you got to get lower. I'm like, fucking can't get any lower. Mate, I can barely fucking walk today. I'm so fucked. I'm not sure if it's an injury or just soreness, but Jesus, I've never felt this pain in like the left inner thigh before ever. It's just a bad time.
You pulled your groin, basically, have you?
Feels like it. I mean, muscle. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just a bit annoying. I'm gonna have to maybe get the massage gun on it today or something, see if that fixes it. But because I've got my Friday long run coming up tonight, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah. But Jimbo, we're going to do a few things because I'm going to use this as a segue you can use. If you want to get the inside scoop on our training, not that you would, why would anybody want to? But more importantly, get early access to some of the things that happen away from the podcast, like a certain raffle that somebody's about to announce. Head to patreon.com/talkingtriathlon. because yesterday, before it went public, James Bale announced to our patrons the details of the James Bale Talking Triathlon London Marathon Super Raffle.
Super raffle.
Super Raffle. So patreon.com/Talking Triathlon, early stuff, blah, 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 $5 a month. Thank you. We've had a bunch of people join this week as well. So thank you so much.
Oh,
But
that's
James
awesome.
Bale, tell us the details of your raffle, mate.
I'm going to try and speak loudly and clearly because we've had a few comments last week that my microphone, the balance was off on the podcast. So I'm hoping that I'm caught in the right volume this week.
I've got an editor on it. He's on it this week. So
I'm going to try and be as loud as I can. But yes, the Talking Triathlon London Marathon Super Triathlon Raffle is now live. I have got a list of prizes which will be won by lucky winners to be drawn after the London Marathon. The list of prizes are as follows: a £50 precision hydration voucher, an entry to the T100 London, a distance of the winner's choosing, plus a behind-the-scenes tour, Lucy Charles-Barclay signed A6 Metaspeed, a Nicky Bartlett bundle, which is a jersey and signed photos, a signed Magnus Ditlev tri-suit from last season, a Hoob bundle, which is goggles, swim cap, goggles, backpack, towel, I think. There's a collection of Hoob things. There's a code for a free pair of On running shoes of the size and choice of the winner's choosing. The only stipulation is no limited editions are included, but you can still get any of their high-end super shoes. So if you did desire that, a Junkyard Dog Purpose kit, which includes 2 cycling jerseys, 2 t-shirts, 1 tri-suit, the size of the winner's choosing, again, to be shipped to the winner. A night at the Edgbaston Sports Hotel in Birmingham, 1 night in a feature room, dinner for 2 and breakfast for 2, free car parking and access to all the sports facilities. They got swimming pool, they got running track, they got gym, they got all that stuff. A Matt Hauser signed tri-suit from last season, a Roka bundle, which is goggles, swim cap, swim paddles, and a £100 voucher for the website, a Lizzie Rayner signed jersey, and a £250 Stolen Goat voucher. And Stolen Goat do really high-end tri-suits and cycling kits in the UK. So in order to be in with a chance to win any of that, you have to go to my fundraising page. There will be a link in the show notes to that. Put an entry on there, a donation, and it's £10 gets you 1 entry, £20 gets you 3 entries, £30 gets you 5 entries, and £50 gets you 10 entries. And then if you go over 50, I'll do the math and figure out how many entries you've got. In order to enter, please add a donation in one of the above amounts to my fundraising page and put the reference Talking Triathlon London Marathon in the comments. Do not use the anonymous donation option and make sure there is a name so I can read out the winners on the pod post-marathon. Then it's up to the winner who I've read out to contact me. Probably best bet is on Instagram via DM to claim the prize. I'll cross-reference the name and the email to ensure it's the right person. So if you go to my fundraising page, put a donation of either 10, 20, 30, 50, which will get you 1, 3, 5, or 10 entries on there with the reference Talking Triathlon London Marathon in the comments, and you will be in with a chance of winning one of those amazing prizes.
Yeah. So to clarify for everybody, you don't win everything. They're all individual prizes. So there's multiple prizes.
Individual prizes.
Yep.
There will be no matter whatever money you put on there, that'll equate to the amount of entries you get in the prize draw. Names will be pulled out based on how many entries everybody's got at random, and that person will win the prize that I'm pulling the entry out for that at that moment. I'll do it randomly using a software on the internet.
I also put a post up on our Talking Triathlon Instagram yesterday with those exact details with a link as well. So if you're listening, you can't be bothered checking our show notes, head to our Instagram account and you'll see all the details as well about where to go. There's a link in the bio of our Instagram account at the moment as well. So good cause.
And
I chucked in my 50.
Thank you to all the partners and brands and sponsors who've who've helped out and all the athletes and organizations and everyone that's donated something to that prize pool. It's appreciated.
I loved it because I tagged all the athletes and brands that were in the raffle, and the only one that so far that replied was Ellie Salthouse. So thank you, Ellie, in particular.
And it is in support of Crohn's and Colitis UK, which is a research charity for helping people with autoimmune disease, which is something I suffer with. So it's close to my heart. It's not a charity that I've just picked out the air.
Yeah. Also, I did tag the wrong Crohn's and Colitis thing in the Instagram post and it wouldn't let me edit it. So sorry about that. Mate, thank you for that. I'm excited for this. I have got my interest in because I want those Lucy Charles shoes. So I'm expecting some magic to happen with that.
The raffle gods will decide your fate.
Raffle gods will hopefully very well decide that. To be honest, I'd happily have any of those prizes. So whatever they are.
If you win the entry to the T100 London, though, that does mean you have to come and do the T100 London.
I don't know about that one. I might donate that to a good cause or something. I was chuckling to myself when you were saying that you get a behind the scenes tour of the T100 London. And I'm like, what are they going to go? This is the Excel Centre. This is the Thames. This is the construction site.
Well, I mean, I think Anthony just said he'd take them around the media centre, show them, where the team works and all of that stuff, and give them a bit of a VIP weekend rather than just an entry, a kind of more slightly enhanced weekend at the T100. But also one lucky winner who wins one of the tangible prizes that I send out as a package. One lucky winner at random will get chosen and will receive the James Bale face prize suit in that package as well. So fingers crossed.
Watch your screens, people. There might be a link available for purchase at some point too. Who knows? Who knows? James, let's get into it this week, mate, because there's actually been a fair bit that's happened and a fair bit that is happening this weekend. Do you want to start with the races that were or the races that will be? How do you want to do this? Or do you want to talk about, I don't know, you tell me. How do you want to take this?
I think we should have a chat about Lucy Charles-Barclay and how she might actually go and race the Commonwealth Games.
I would love to, because I did see this and it piqued my interest. Lucy Charles-Barclay potentially going, because triathlon isn't at the Commonwealth Games this year.
No. Reigning 70.3 and former Ironman world champion returned to swimming action in February, just 4 weeks after undergoing plantar tendon surgery, and clocked 17:29.40 as she won the 1500 meters freestyle in the women's 18 years and over Essex County Championships at the London Aquatic Centre. She improved that time by 21 seconds last week, competing at the Ponds Forge International Sports Centre with a time of 17:08. That time now ranks her within the top 10 female British swimmers this year, and as a result, she secured her place at the Commonwealth Games trials, which will take place on the 14th to the 19th of April at the London Aquatic Centre, with the women's 1500 metre freestyle on Wednesday the 15th. It's a shorter distance than she swims in the Ironman races, but it's a hell of a performance, and especially being that she's just underwent surgery and she's on her way back. Her swimming capabilities haven't been tainted, have they?
No, I'd love to see her go to the Com Games. It's funny how, while you were saying that, I was thinking we've got all these female triathletes who are going off and excelling in individual sports at the moment as well. So we spoke about Mike Kingma a fair bit recently, how she's gone away. She's won her first pro cycling race. Last week, you briefly mentioned Emma Pallant-Brown's crazy fast Paris half marathon time, where she was almost as fast as Jan Frodeno. And now we're talking about Lucy Charles potentially going to the Com Games for swimming. I love hearing stories like this because it's that old adage that why be good at one sport when you can be mediocre at three. And I'm like, no. Triathletes are legitimately good at all sports, like world-class athletes across the board. So that's cool.
It's remarkable. And Lucy herself said, I'm really pleased with how the last few weeks have gone. To take 21 seconds off my time in just 19 days has given me a lot of confidence in the work we're doing. Swimming has also always been a huge part of my sporting journey. It's so exciting to step back into the pool environment and see what's possible. I'll be heading to the Commonwealth Games trials as a multi-sport athlete competing in an individual sport, which is a challenge I'm really enjoying, exploring alongside my triathlon club career.
The other factor about this that's fascinating is seeing how athletes are starting to prepare or change things considering that new 20-meter draft rule. Lucy Charles is an athlete who we see off the front and, sometimes it's her and maybe a Taylor Knibb or one other swim biker with her. At the T100, there's a few others. But if she's doing this much focus on her swim training this early in the season, and again, I assume everything's going to be great with that surgery as well. She's an even better swimmer than before. There's that 20-minute draft, which means a lot of those cyclists aren't going to be able to bridge that gap back up. But she could potentially be getting off the bike at some of these races with a very substantial lead. And then she's also one of the best runners. Like this could just be a like the final nail in the coffin, final nail in the coffin for all other pros. If she's swimming so much faster, biking so much, just solid even, and then running as well as she has been in the past, especially fixed after that surgery, it could be just like, just give up everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's a remarkable athlete, and if her swim tie, I would love to see her compete at the Commonwealth Games. I really would. It would be so cool to see our sport represented at an individual level like that, at an event like that. And she could roll into the rest of the year in dominating form.
Now let's talk. I'm going to pick a little bit where we go from here, because I think a good segue is we talk about one athlete doing individual sport really, really well.
I know where you go. It's exactly where I was going to go. If you weren't going in this direction, I was going to interject and be like, "Nah, we're going in this direction." But carry on.
To another athlete who attempted an individual sport and it didn't go so well. It's our boy Sam Laidlow. Attempted the Barcelona Marathon recently.
He did indeed. Sam Laidlow had hoped to kick off his 2026 season with a strong performance at the Barcelona Marathon on Sunday. He had 3 options going in, he said. He run at 2:20 pace for as long as possible and accept that he'd blow up at some point, try and run an easy sub 2:30, or find some middle ground between those first 2 choices. So he had his 10K split was 33:48.
What was his 20K split?
But unfortunately, he didn't make it to the next checkpoint of 15K. Posting later on Instagram, had to call it a day after 14K only. Fighting massive cramps pretty much from the start. Still not a runner. Upside down, smiley face.
I also saw in that article as well that it was like, everything was going well, and then my entire squad got sick, and then my foot is sore. Like, death. We always talk about death taxes and Jonas Schomburg going out of T2 too fast. It's honestly getting to the point where it's like death taxes and Sam Laidlow having a series of very difficult, heartbreaking challenges to start his season. Like every single year, it's like this fucking guy. Like,
The quote was, "Everything was going real nice up until 3 weeks ago when a virus hit our whole little training squad. Having been struggling with some foot pain ever since, we have had to drastically reduce the volume. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see the Hoka family and get a big run in the legs." So I mean, it's very Sam Laidlow, isn't it? We're going to have this now. A stuttery start to the season where things aren't going well. He's pulling out of races, he's cramping, he's vomiting, his stomach's cramping, he's turning inside out, whatever. And then he's going to come in and just blow some races away later in the year.
I genuinely believe a lot of professional triathletes go out there and they invest in things like, we've seen like the Cat Matthews and the Haydens and these have a specialized swim, bike, run coach. We've seen them specialize in high performance nutrition or high performance mindset experts. I think Sam Laidlow is probably the only pro triathlete out there who has invested in like an acting coach. Because honest to fucking God, it's just every year. I don't believe him anymore. And again, I'm not saying this as a criticism because I love it. And he's such a good character, but I do love it. It's just like, he honestly has me second guess every single fucking thing he says. And that's such a compliment, because it's literally just, I'm so fascinated to see everything. Every time he lines up now, I'm like, what is it? Is a leg going to fall off? Is he going to run a 2:20 marathon in an Ironman? Is he like, you just don't know, because it's just always something. Like, it's always, back in my day, I had to walk 16 miles barefoot in the snow up to school. Like, that's what Sam Laidlow is going to retire. Like, back when I was racing Ironman, had to walk, train in. Like, it's just, it's constant. It's constant. And it's just, he's going to probably win. He's going to go and break the world record in Roth. We've spoken about Christian. He's going to be falling apart 2 weeks before Roth go out there, and he's going to beat them all and break the world record. Like, that's just where I assume he is these days. It's diabolical. Sam Laidlow, man. What a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. What an interesting character. Well, just an interesting.
Here's Tim who's
chat.
like fucking taking big swings, and James is like, yes, what an interesting character, the most neutral.
I just, you know,
It's baffling, right?
It is baffling. The men's winner in the race that he was in won it in 2:04:57. He obviously wouldn't have got anywhere near that. I think, when you're talking about someone like Lucy Charles who could actually genuinely go to the Commonwealth Games and represent, and then you look at our three sports, I think running is the one where, apart from some outliers like Alex Yee maybe, running's the one where it's not really a bridgeable gap between the pro runners and triathletes. That's the biggest difference, because someone like Sam Laidlow, he'd run a 2:28, 2:25, whatever, maybe a bit less, who knows. He'd still just look like a decent club runner on that day. He wouldn't have been anywhere near the front. He'd have just been like, you'd just think, it's a decent club runner doing their thing. You wouldn't really think pro particularly.
And maybe this is just because obviously as the distance gets longer, the gaps naturally get bigger. But you're correct, right? Like, we talk about fast Ironman times as like sub 2:40, and then you're right. You look at like running. Lots and lots and lots of very good amateurs are running. My best mate, he's like a sub 2:30 marathon runner. I think he ran 2:40 at the Sydney Marathon last year. And he's mid 40s, just
nowhere near pro. Yeah,
nowhere near pro.
Just a really good runner.
It is actually a really good point to say that but then if you look at the short course guys, like you look at what Hayden Wild's doing in the, that 10K ran 27 minutes. The short course guys, the gap does seem closer, but I'm guessing, as I said, that's because the distance is less. But even then, we're not talking about, we're talking about a gap of 20 to 30 minutes in a marathon, but we're talking like a minute, or not even a minute, some cases in the 5-10K.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Morgan Pearson ran a sub 1 hour or just over an hour half marathon.
Alex's marathon times, they're good.
Yeah.
They're comparable. They're still not going to win the races, but they're comparable. Talking about good running performances, though, I do want to give a shout out to Lizzie Rayner, who did the Bath Half this weekend in 1:16.
Very nice. Well done, Lizzie. Congratulations. Should we talk about some races that happened over the weekend?
Let's talk about some races that happened that are actually triathlon.
Tell me about it.
Where do you want to go first?
Lanzarote World Cup racing is back. Let's talk about Lanzarote.
I have not got that one locked up.
Well, what have you got then? Let's start with what you've got.
Dallas. Ironman 70.3 Dallas Little Elm. Stupid name for a race. Americans always go weird with their names.
I thought it was a brand, to be honest. Like, genuinely, I thought it was like the brand sponsor. And then I think I saw Sam Appleton's Strava file, and it was Little Elm, and I'm like, it's actually the location.
Yeah. So it was a 350 meter time trial swim. The age group swim was cancelled entirely because it was a little bit windy. They let the pros do a 350 meter time trial swim, and it was so reduced from 1.9 kilometers. They had 350 meters, meaning just a 1.26 difference from the first place Mark Derbrick in 2:38 back to the last athlete in 61st. So it was only 1 minute 26 seconds between first and 61st. But I mean, if you're doing a 350 meter swim, I would hope there wouldn't be much difference between me and the first place. I mean, it's 350 meters. I stayed on fucking Javier Gomez's shoulder for about that long in Mallorca.
Didn't Lionel and Ari Cloud lose like 40 seconds or something? Like, isn't there quite a substantial gap between those guys and the others?
Yeah, Lionel Sanders was 40 seconds back in 46th place. So he still went down through the field like a stone. But he was within 10 miles. He was up to the top 10 and then up to second. And then him and Leonard Arnold basically just drove it until Lionel Sanders went into T2 with 19 seconds ahead and then basically stormed it. He ran a 1:11:53 half marathon on a mostly trails course, and he took a comfortable victory. 2 minutes 27 in front of Ben Canute.
It was not televised, this race, so we couldn't watch it, but I was following it through our WhatsApp group because we had the guys in there who were obviously checking the tracker, was sort of keeping us up. We also had
Greenhorn was on the ground, wasn't he?
Sean Green and Fernanda de la Vega were both on the ground. And I mean, obviously, you have to be a little bit sus of anything Sean Green tells you when it comes to Lionel Sanders. But it sounded like
he was having a massive. He was just fanboying out, wasn't he?
Constantly. I mean, I actually think he just uses it as an excuse to travel to the races that Lionel's at.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have a bike fixing company. It's a front.
Exactly. It's a front, exactly. He's slowly trying to peel off a little bit of Lionel Sanders' skin to build a Lionel Sanders suit like the guy in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
A mask. But it sounded like a really exciting run because you had Ari Clow, who is a very, very good runner. It looked like there was a chance that he was going to run down Lionel. And then he wasn't. Suddenly he vanishes.
And then he wasn't. And then there was, reports of him having blisters and trying to run barefoot. Am I misinterpreting a joke that someone put in the WhatsApp group?
No, that's, I believe, what apparently. So I chatted with another person a couple of days ago about this. And yeah, blisters. So apparently he had blisters a couple of weeks earlier in train that it impacted his trainer. And I'm not sure if these were new blisters or the old blisters hadn't healed properly. But yeah, tried to run barefoot.
It must have been old ones because new blisters you can run through. They hurt afterwards. Old blisters that are raw, they're the ones that are going to kill you. Because I mean, I know I'm not a pro athlete, but back in my day, I've had races where I have run on the worst of blisters.
City marathon,
and it's only after the race that they really hurt. So they must have been historic blisters where the skin had come off and started chafing. But he tried to run barefoot. That's insane.
I think what I was told, again, I haven't heard this from the horse's mouth, but it was like the idea I don't want to ruin my season. I'm just gonna pull out. I'm obviously not just pull out. Like it's a tough decision. But like I was saying, like this beating Lionel Sanders for an athlete like Ari Clow, that's like a career making win. You know, like that is how you suddenly go from being like, oh, an athlete that we sort of talk about to like, shit, this guy is here. I mean, again, obviously I don't know the circumstances, but again, I can speak from personal experience running on, I ran nearly 30K the city marathon with horrific blisters. Fuck it, mate, it'd have to be really bad to stop me from going what could be a career defining victory. I'd be like, fuck the rest of my season. I want to beat Lionel Sanders. Like that is a name that you want to have on your palmares, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, must have been bad, and I feel bad for the guy because he was so tantalizingly close, and this is the dream situation for somebody like him. And then to be undone by something like blisters must be devastating.
Yeah, so Lionel Sanders took the win in 3:17.12, Ben Canute in second in 3:19.40, ahead of Andreas Salzberg in 3:19.45. So a solid win for Lionel Sanders after a year where he struggled. He's had illness. He's coming back from injury, starting his season off with a comfortable win. Obviously, the fact that the swim was reduced to 350 meters that does him favors, because if he's going to lose 40 seconds in 350 meters, he's going to lose many times that. Yeah, exactly, over a proper swim.
I honestly, like, I know that Sean again shared videos like, oh, it's really windy here. And he shows it, and there's like the tablecloths are blowing a bit, and you're like, fucking hell. But like, what I can't ever understand let's just make them do a 350 meter swim. Oh, that's safe. Like, whatever the 350 meter swim was, just have them do the laps until it's 1900 meters. Like, I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around the psychology of like, oh no, we're not going to let them do the 1.0 because it's too windy. We'll let them do a 350, only 350 meters. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'd rather turn it into a duathlon than do a 350 meter swim. I'd rather say
do the fucking 1.0. Like, find the local pool,
obviously.
Get them if they're doing time trials, take them to the local pool and get them to do a 1.9K time. Like, I don't know. It just seems to happen so often these days.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. But that was that. And then on the women's side, It was the same format for the women. They started 5 minutes later when the swim positions were shaken out. Victoria Lopez, Rachel Olsen, and Eric Hawley, who were the top three, they had 15 seconds covering them. Jackie Herring was sixth, 23 seconds back, with 1:17 back from the start to the 24th place athlete. Midway through, there was Strayhow from the USA was now at the front of the race, just in front of Herring, but it was that pair that they both handed 2-minute penalties, with Anna Wutter from Germany suddenly coming into the equation. On the first of the 3 7-kilometer loops on the gravel run, it was Buter who started to move clear, and she was 30 seconds in front of Herring by halfway. Up front, there was a dramatic finish to come as Herring closed on Buter. The gap was 22 seconds with 3 kilometers to go, 11 seconds with 1.5 kilometers remaining, so it could hardly have been tighter. Herring powered into the lead not long after and crossed the line 3:49.57 seconds, 18 seconds ahead of Butner.
Close.
It was close. It was a really exciting finish on the women's side, with Jackie Herring taking the win in 3:49.57, like I just said. Anna Butner came second in 3:50.14, and Anna-Marie Strayhow in third at 3:53 dead.
Jackie Herring's a very, very good athlete. So, yeah, again, it's hard because the race isn't broadcast and I don't really have a lot. I think you've done a very good job of summarizing what actually happened, but like, congratulations to the winners.
We didn't see it, but yeah, I mean, look, it's always good when a race comes down to the wire like that. Whether or not it's broadcast, I like to hear when a race is close and that people are really fighting for the lead. It sounds like it was pretty much a sprint finish with just second place slightly running out of energy before we got to the line.
I imagine we would have seen something similar in the men's if it hadn't been for the blisters. So, exciting racing in Little Elm, Dallas. Is Little Elm a suburb of Dallas, I guess? Is it that thing where they... Good on you. Cool. Texas racing, all happening. Mate, now I have got the results up for World Cup Lanzarote happened over the weekend.
Nice.
It is good to see a return. Sorry, I'm just writing down for the show notes. A return to World Cup racing. And mate, this was not a World Cup race like any other. This was a fairly stacked field for a World Cup event. I'm assuming probably because Abu Dhabi has been postponed, cancelled, I'm assuming. But there's no WTCS racing now until May, I think. Maybe April. I can't remember right now. But in the men's race, we saw David Cantera del Campo win the sprint distance race with a 54.45 ahead of Tim Helvig, 54.48 ahead of third place Jawad Abdelhamullah in 55.01. Dorian Connex was just in fourth place as well. So again, pretty good racing from a relatively stacked men's field. Again, very, very good. But the one that really got my attention was the women's race, because in the women's race, we saw a few names that I was fascinated. I'm always fascinated to see how they went. In first place, we had Nina Im with a 1:02.14, who was just 5 seconds ahead of Georgia Taylor Brown, who was in second place, ahead of Laura Lindemann, who was 1:02.22, so just 8 seconds back. Laura Lindemann took a break last year, and she's back to racing this year. And then in fourth place, Marta Raimundo. And then in fifth place, Sophie Caldwell, who is now married to Tom Evans, made her return after a maternity leave break, and Jean Lahair in sixth place. But a few things to talk about here. I think the main one is Sophie Evans making her return to pro racing. Missed out on the Paris Olympic spot in 2024. Went and dabbled a little bit with some T100 racing towards the back end of 2024 and then 2025. Took some time to go and have her first child, and is right back, mate. Right back into the top end of a very, very competitive, field. Beating Jean Lahair last year's, she was top three, second maybe in the top whatever in the WTCS overall one super try. Very, very, very promising from her, as well as Lauren Lindemann and then Georgia Taylor Brown.
Yeah, lovely to see, that we live in this world now where she can take it some time out, step away from the sport, have her first child, come back, and re-engage with the sport and be as competitive as that. Great to see, and long may that continue.
Did you see, and again, sorry, this is a massive tangent, but did you see the Jackie Herring post about the pregnancy thing the other day,
I did not.
where it was Jocelyn McCauley, where Jocelyn McCauley was coming out talking about how she didn't announce that she was pregnant in the lead up to New Zealand because she said there's this stigma around female athletes announcing that they're pregnant, saying that like there's this pressure that brands will drop them or people will say they're being irresponsible racing, all these things. Did you see that?
I didn't see that post, no, but I can imagine that's the case, and it's a shame that that is the case, and we we should all be doing all we can to change that.
Which just made me think because when we spoke about Ash Gentle the other day, and all I said was like, let's not assume she's not going to race, and we copped a little bit for that. I think it is just a very it's a funny thing the way people react to these announcements. I think full power to them. I think it's wonderful that we see these amazing women go off and have children. It doesn't mean the end of their career. We've seen so many athletes
absolutely
come back with such success.
And it's for each individual to make their decision on what they're going to do, and not for someone random on the internet to tell them that what they're doing is wrong.
Correct. That applies to all aspects of life, I think, not just women. But look, Lanzarote World Cup, this is a really strong sign. I think things come back this season. Would I like to see Georgia Taylor Brown making the trip down under for a race this weekend? Absolutely. Do I think we will? No. But second place after a lot of 70.3 racing last year. I know Georgia wants to go to the World Cup, World Champs in Nice this year. Great results from Lanzarote. I'm excited for WTCS this year. We know that Will and Belinda are going to be doing the commentary, and I'm here for it.
Yes. Do you think where do you want to go now? What are we going to talk about?
I was going to talk about that this week, mate. I don't know about you, but I made some purchases on the internet.
Yeah, I was trying to find a segue, and then I was flailing about. Normally, I can find a juicy segue, but I couldn't think of anything clever to say off the back of that. But as Tim will allude to in a minute, we have still got this incredible offer from our friends at Hoob running. And as it was last week, it's still all about goggles. Hoob have asked us to help put a spotlight on their goggle range. And to make it interesting for listeners, they're offering 50% off any pair of Hoob goggles. So that's half price, the entire Hoob goggle range.
I should put these on for this ad read.
There you go. All you need to do is use code goggle-50. So that's all lowercase, GOGGLE-50 at checkout, and you'll get 50% off across the entire Hoob goggle range. And that offer is exclusive to listeners of this show. No one else has got that kind of discount. So now they also want to highlight two standout goggles. First is the Aphotic, which is actually the world's best-selling triathlon goggle. It features a photochromatic lens that automatically adapts to changing light conditions. So if you're swimming in the sun and then turn a buoy or buoy where the light suddenly changes, within 45 seconds, the lens reacts and adjusts to the new conditions. Essentially, you get the right tint for the light without needing to swap the goggles. The Aphotic has been in the Hoob range for over 10 years and continues to be a bestseller year after year. The second goggle they want to highlight is the Altair, which is a modular goggle system. With the Altair, you can swap lenses depending on the conditions: yellow, light smoke, dark smoke, and adjust the fit with different gaskets. But what really sets the Altair apart is that you can take prescription lenses ranging from -1.5 all the way to -6. That means if you're short-sighted, you can still use a proper performance goggle rather than the basic prescription goggles you normally find elsewhere. So whether you want the light reactive Aphotic or the fully customizable Altair, Hoob have you covered. And remember, listeners of the show get 50% off the entire Hoob goggle range using the code goggle-50. Lowercase goggle-50. And Tim, you bought some goggles, didn't you, mate?
I did. I got myself a pair because honestly, every person listening to this is going to get everybody uses goggles. We all have multiple pairs of goggles. 50% off is a huge discount, and I took advantage of the 50% off this week. I got the Vision Hue goggles were the ones I went for. I like a big lens, so I'm very happy. I'm going to swim today after this. I'm looking forward to giving them a go. I actually I've bought two things. I bought some buoyancy shorts with the Talking Triathlon 10 discount, and then I've bought the Vision goggles with the Goggle 50 code. So I'm loving this partnership with Hoob. It's saving me plenty of cash as well. So highly recommended. Definitely get it. I said literally everybody buys goggles all the time. So 50%
Half
off.
price goggles are better than full price goggles, eh?
Definitely stock up. Even if you just buy a few
go
pairs.
Go and get your goggles for the year.
Exactly. Jimbo, mate, it's time to start talking about the races that are happening this weekend. And I'm going to go with the one that I'm least excited for into the one that I'm most excited for. So let's start with the T100 Gold Coast, because what a disaster this race is turning out to be, mate. What the hell is happening on the Gold Coast?
People are pulling out somewhat. So now...
Somewhat. Half the field's pulled out.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're celebrating they've got 20 athletes. It's like 20 athletes. Like, thank fuck we've actually got 20 athletes to do this race.
Yeah. I was surprised to see yesterday or over the weekend, Merle Brun, who is a long course duathlon champion, Middleton long course duathlon champion, a tremendous athlete in her own right. But I was surprised to see her called up to race the T100, and she is a remarkable athlete. She's won a lot of races, but I think it shows that they were struggling a little bit.
What a I don't know. I feel like a broken record here, but it's like, is this the reason we don't see them announce stuff until last minute, because they're so sick of announcing things and then this happening? But like, we've now had Lucy Charles-Barclay's not racing, Ashley Gentle's not racing, Kate Woff is not racing, Julie Derron has now pulled out. Mate, it's just like, if you had, I don't know. We just don't seem to see this with the Ironman. Like, with the Pro Series this weekend, we got Geelong as well. We're going to talk about. We're not sitting here reporting going, fucking hell, Yellow Gaines has pulled out. Fuck, Christian was going to race, now he's not. Hayden Wild's not racing anymore either. But this just seems to like, we thought it was the contracts. Here we are, next season, new thing, and it's the same thing, and I don't get it, because the prize money. I was talking to Belinda Granger about this week. Belinda's going to be on the commentary team this week, by the way, guys. So you're guaranteed a very good viewing experience. But the prize money is so much higher at T100 Gold Coast.
It's so strange, isn't it?
What's happening? I genuinely just don't understand what the fuck it is about these races that the pros are just abandoning it. I mean, as I said before, if you didn't put them on the same weekend, I reckon you'd see all the athletes who came down for the New Zealand Geelong trip would probably swing by T100 Gold Coast on the way home. But still, I just don't get why. If you're T100, you'd be going to all the people on that pro list. Except, like, I understand an athlete like Kat Matthews going for the overall thing, but even Kat, she could sacrifice that 70.3 race, go do T100, make 50 grand, and she's still probably going to win the 200 grand for the Pro Series. Like, the whole thing just, it baffles me.
Yeah, it makes no sense. When you and I know well how tough it is to make a living as a pro triathlete, go and do this race and win some fucking prize money. Exactly. I don't understand what it is. What is repelling people from these T100 races?
It like, we're going to talk about the actual race in a second, but it's that I have been quite vocal about a lot of the problems I've had with T100 in the past, the stuff, but I still have this great fear that unless there's actual support and this becomes a sustainable business model, this will go away. And what we will see is the Pro Series is great, but the number of Pro Ironman events now is less. And challenges people. Like, I just have this great fear that if there's not enough support of the pros behind these events, eventually, if you're the PTO, you're going to go, well, what's the fucking point? Why are we paying 50 grand in prize money when we're not even getting the athletes? Like, we increase the prize money to get better fields, and it's still not working. At what point do they go, we don't fucking need them? Like, we're selling out. The age group race is sold out. We don't need it just feels very short-sighted to me. And it's like, have a little bit more forward thought than what's immediately in front of you. Yes, okay, this season I could do, but think about 5 years in the future. In 5 years, do we still want the T100 paying big prize money? Probably. So let's support it now. It really does make me go, you're right. What is it? What is it about this that is just putting people off? Because
it's not even like it's a full distance Ironman that's going to really wreck your body.
I know.
It's just like a 70.3 kind of thing. It's slightly longer.
Well, look, let's talk about the race because I don't want to rant too much. And I know people get, but in the start list, we have the 20 pros: Alana Siffert, Natalie Van Coevorden, Nicole van der Kay, Chloe Hartnett, Daniela Kleiser, Regan Holyoke, Bianca Bogan, Taylor Knibb, Rebecca Clark, Sarah Perez-Sala, Ellie Salthouse, Hannah Devet, Imogen Simmons, Jess Fullagar, Lottie Wilms, Lisa Marie Dornow, Daniela Di Francesco, Rihanna Hughes, Justine Girard, and Merle Brun. It's an okay start list. There's some decent
there
names.
Are some names on there that do excite me. I really want Ellie Salthouse to do well.
Always.
I just want Ellie Salthouse to do well. Obviously Taylor Knibb's on there, Rebecca Clark, Sarah Perez-Sala. All of these names are capable of having a tremendous race. I'm really intrigued to see how Daniela Di Francesco does, because coming back in from that cycling break that she went on, I'm intrigued to see how Mel Brun does as well. I mean, her swim isn't great, but she's a powerhouse on the bike.
It is going to be tough conditions though for her, because it's a proper ocean beach swim. So I think some of those Australians are going to have. I think athletes like Natalie Van Coevorden, Nicole van der Kay, Rebecca Clark, definitely, Ellie, they're going to have a big advantage, just because, even Danielle Di Francesco, to be honest, because they're just used to the conditions. That's what I mean. So the field isn't as strong, but there is still a lot of interest. Athletes like Natalie Van Coevorden, I've said this a lot, but she's just gone from strength to strength since switching to middle distance. I think she has a real chance here. I've been quite vocal about the athlete that I think is going to dominate this race is Jess Fullagar. I think Jess Fullagar is going to smash this, to be honest. Truly, I think she's going to fucking smash this race.
And there's every chance. I'm seeing there's a lot of on the T100 socials about Ellie at the moment and how she's coming into this really wanting to take her first T100 win. I hope that is the case. But yeah, Jess Fullagar will be a hard person to beat. I'm also really intrigued to see how Imogen Simmons goes.
Same, definitely. Imogen Simmons.
A reset year for her after, coming back in last year.
And again, I was actually messaged Danielle this week. She's like saying she's super pumped for it. First time she's done it, like sort of middle-ish distance race. I said, like, rip their legs off on the bike, like just absolutely fucking rip it like a pro cyclist can. Let's pick our podiums, mate. Who's your top three? Who do you want to go in order? Who's your third place, second place, first place? Or do you just want to pick top three? We are not consistent with this.
Let's go third place, second place, first place.
Okay. So who's your third place?
Taylor Knibb.
Interesting. That's a good pick, actually. My third place is going to be Natalie Van Coevorden. I guess
you've got to go first on second place then.
Taylor Knibb is my second place pick. Who's yours?
Jess Fullagar.
I don't know who your first place is. Jess Fullagar is my first place, and yours is Ellie Salthouse.
I got to put Ellie Salthouse. I've got to put it out into the universe for her, mate, because not only is she someone that I'm a huge fan of and I want to see her do well, she sent me a signed jersey for my raffle.
She's supported this podcast from like day one as well. She's one of our most frequent guests. She's an absolute just legend. So yeah, I only want good things for Ellie, but I'm trying to be objective and give my genuine picks. So I think it's going to be, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this.
It's going to be worth watching. I'm intrigued to watch it. It's a difficult time for me to watch, but I will try my best to be part of the coverage. I'm really intrigued to see what it just being a single gender race weekend does to the vibe, because I'm all about the vibes. So that'll be interesting.
The other thing is going to be, I know the commentary team aren't there in person. So I know you've got somebody in the UK, somebody up the coast in Queensland, and then one person, Aaron Royal, I think is going to be the grand. So that's going to be a different dynamic for what we've seen. This is more the Ironman model of commentary. So we'll see how that goes. But as I said, Belinda Granger being there, I cannot emphasize this enough. Belinda Granger does so much preparation for commentary work. Like it really puts some of the Ironman stuff to shame when you see how much effort Belinda puts in. So I think we're going to be in for a good time in terms of commentary. But yeah, I'm always curious, and I hope this is just a rocky start to what turns out to be a great season. So we'll see.
Stay curious, motherfucker.
Exactly. Now, the one that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, Ironman 70.3 Geelong. Is it Geelong? Is that how I pronounce it?
Geelong.
Geelong. So not
Geelong.
Geelong.
Not Geelong. Geelong.
Okay, so it's like a J.
Just
yes.
Any word in Australian, make it as short as possible. That's the secret to Australian.
Take syllables out, apart from the word no, which you all struggle with.
No.
Yeah, you just add syllables to that.
No. Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a race. I mean, the women's field, you've got Kat Matthews, Smara Jewett, Grace Theck, Milan Agnew, Gabrielle Lumkis, Penny Slater, Skye Wallace, Steph Clutterbuck, Rianne Hughes, Jasmine Brown, Paige
Cranage.
Yeah, struggle to read that.
Charlotte
Who
McShane.
else? I mean, Charlotte McShane, yeah, it's been a while.
And don't forget, we got the hot tip from Taylor Knibb that we should also keep our eyes on Sophie Green. Sophia Green, sorry. So she's one to watch. That's a Taylor Knibb hot tip, guys. She commented on our YouTube channel last week and told us to watch out for Sophia Green.
I'll pull that comment up a second. If you just give your thoughts on the women's field because it's quite an interesting one to read. I'm
gonna act like Taylor Knibb. What Taylor Knibb says is my thoughts. I think Sophie Green's going to be right up there with a swim bike. She's probably going to get off the bike ahead of Kat Matthews, and then it's going to come down to a bit of a run battle. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. So Taylor commented on the YouTube video last week. She said, "Watch out for Sophia Green in the women's race. She came back 4 months post-surgery last year with a second place at Challenge Barcelona. She could come off the bike easily ahead of Kat and will be out of the swim first for sure. Cam Main's fiance too."
Yeah, so that's definitely one to watch. Milan Agnew, we've seen an athlete who's, I often talk about that momentum. It's a name that I've seen pop up more and more and more and more and more. The results are on that sort of uptick as well. I fully expect Kat Matthews to win this thing, if I'm completely honest. I think that it's going to be Kat quite far ahead. Tamara Jewett, it's always that, how fast is she going to run? What's the gap going to be? This is an interesting, it's not a flat, fast course. Like Geelong is a fairly, it's got some lumps. It's a lumpy course. Again, similar, ocean swim, which always mixes things up. So I think some of the Australians, or just those people that are used to beach open water swimming, are going to naturally do better, which could then see bigger gaps. But I think Kat Matthews is probably going to win this thing quite comfortably.
Tamara Jewett for the win, motherfucker.
Mate, I love it. I love it.
I have been in her corner for some time. I think she's an incredible runner. We know she's an incredible runner. Kat's going to be slightly fatigued after her efforts in New Zealand. I know that Tamara Jewett was there as well, but Kat was the one who won that race. And I think on this kind of course, at a 70.3 distance rather than a full Ironman distance, I think that the gap will be less and Tamara has a chance.
I'm going to challenge you on this only because if you look at New Zealand, which yes, they both have in their legs, I feel like Kat Matthews jogged in the marathon at the back end. She was so far ahead that she wasn't pushing, whereas Tamara gave it some. We know the biggest source of the fatigue in a Ironman is the marathon. I think she's going to have a bit more fatigue than Kat Matthews, to be honest. I feel like if there's any athlete on this list that we really do need to sort of like look out for a little bit, it's Steph Clutterbuck, because Steph had focused so hard on Ironman New Zealand and then had the problems in the swim, which meant she had to withdraw, didn't run the marathon. I think Steph is an athlete that we can see right up there. Grace Theck is another athlete that doesn't get enough attention. Very, very, very good runner. Again, Australian, used to the conditions, but I still think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the same with Penny. Yeah, there's a lot of names in this field that could surprise me, but I think we talk about the tiers. I just think Kat is sort of a class above a lot of these other incredible women on the start list. And she's so good with the pro series.
We will see.
Let's talk about the men's race, mate. The men's race is it's a pretty good start list. It's a pretty good start
list. Shout out to Tripod Athlete, who I'm taking these start lists from, as we do every week. without question, the best start list reporter on Instagram. On the men's side, Yella Gaines, Christian Blumenfeld, Hayden Wild, Jake Birtwhistle, Carl Smith,
Josh Ferris. Definitely Chuck Josh Ferris in there. He's doing so well lately.
Josh Ferris, Matt Burton,
Trent
Rasmus
Thorpe,
Svenningsson.
very good swimmer too.
Yeah.
Calvin Amos.
But even the names that I've written listed off there, I'm going to stand by what I said last week. And that is that this, in terms of what people are talking about, they're talking about the Christian Blumenfeld Hayden Wild show. And I think Yella Gaines is going to give both of them a free lesson. I don't even think it's going to be a race. I think Yella Gaines is just going to cakewalk this motherfucker.
You know, I think it's really solid, like truly, because 70.3 world champion who beat Christian Blumenfeld in a sprint finish and he's not really been spoken about is just, it's diabolical to me. But then, like I said, there's all these other athletes that we're not even. Pierre Lecour, we saw what he did in New Zealand. Like again, I just emphasize the fastest 70.3 debut in history from Pierre Lecour a couple of years ago. This is the age. We talk a lot, right, about the short course athletes. When are the short course athletes come in? Yella Gaines, Christian Blumenfeld, Hayden Wild, Jake Birtwhistle, Carl Smith, Pierre Lecour. I'm expecting the top 3, probably the top 6 is there. Josh Ferris, I think you could maybe do. His run is a little bit of a weakness compared to these guys. But they're all short course athletes who are stepping up in distance. And I think they're going to fucking dominate this race, to be honest. Those 6 names is just going to be, it's so exciting to see those 6 at an early season 70.3 in Australia.
Yeah, agreed. So we're going to do podium picks for men's and women's.
Let's do podium picks. Let's start with the women. Who's your podium for the women? 3rd place.
3rd place for the women.
Oh, he's thinking, guys. He's contemplating.
Yeah.
He's stroking his beard like a evil genius in a Bond movie or something.
I mean, there's. Do I just be boring and pick, or do I kind of shake it up and
shake it up? Go on. I'm just gonna pick one of these.
All right, Cat Matthews, 3rd place.
Wow, Jesus. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna trust in Taylor Knibb and say Sophia Green for 3rd place.
I'm gonna trust in Taylor Knibb and say Sophia Green for 2nd place.
I am gonna say 2nd place is Steph Clutterbuck.
I am gonna say 1st place Tamara Jewett.
I'm gonna say Cat Matthews.
There you go.
I like that we both put Sophie Green. How did we go with
very wrong?
Like we were with New Zealand? I think one of us was very right and one of us wasn't so right. The men's race. This is hard actually. I think we both know the top 3. It's just going to be about what order we pick them in. Or unless
it's going to be what order. I'm going to have 3rd place Pierre Lecour.
Fuck you. That's what I was going to say. Pierre Lecour is my 3rd place too. I'm picking Pierre Lecour for 3rd as well. I agree with you there, actually. I'm putting Pierre in there.
Because, in my opinion, Christian Blumenfeld has dropped down the order with cramp at this point. Okay, 2nd place, Hayden Wild.
2nd place, Christian Blumenfeld.
Interesting. And I think Yella Gaines is going to give everybody a free lesson at this race.
Yeah, I'm also going to pick Yella Gaines. I don't think there's anything wrong with Hayden. Hayden is an amazing athlete. I just feel like his eggs are in a different basket this year. And I don't see him willing to go as deep as he might have to compete with these guys this early in the season when he's going short and going to be focused on the Olympics. So I think he might just back things off a little bit. Who knows? He'll probably win the thing by 10 minutes. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited to see like that men's race. But that 3-way or 6-way race is going to be interesting. Plus, again, 20-meter draft, especially with athletes like Josh Ferris and Hayden Wild, who are both exceptional cyclists. Rasmus Svenningsson as well. Like who knows? It'll be interesting to see. Just one last thing quickly before we wrap it up, mate. The Ironman Oceanside 70.3 start lists are listed. I just want to go through and we won't talk about them too much, but we'll definitely cover them next week. But listen to this. Women's race. Paula Finlay, Taylor Knibb, Solveig Lovseth, Jackie Heron, Daniela Lewis, Marta Sanchez, Grace Steck, Victoria Lopez, Grace Alexander, Kirsten Casper, Amelia Kretz, Sif Bendix Madsen. Anyone else there that I recognize? That's the women's race. In the men's race, Jesus, 71 athletes on the men's start list, by the way. Christian Blumenfeld, Casper Stornes, Rudy Von Berg, Gustav Eden, Sam Long, Jonas Schomburg, Sam Appleton, Leon Chevalier, Henry Rappaport, Jason West, Antonio Benito Lopez, Jan Stratman, Ben Canute, Christian Hogenhag, Justin Real, Colin Such, Jackson Laundry, Caleb Noble, Cam Worth, Ari Clow, mate Casper Stepaniak, Mark Dubrick, Matt Kerr.
Big names. It's
Mate,
it's a big start list.
You've also got Joe's on there. I know Joe Skipper's on there. Mate, it is crazy. Crazy start list. Like the Pro Series is coming out swinging. I'm very... Let's see the start list of the T100 Singapore men's race compared to the Oceanside start list.
And the T100 will have such a bigger prize purse.
It's fucking stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. Let us know your picks. Head to our YouTube channel. James will give you all the rundown, but give us your picks for T100 and Geelong. Has the Endurance Picks Fantasy League started again this year? I've not seen anything about it.
I haven't seen it. I rely on people in the Patreon group to drop that into us. So if anybody's listening, activate yourselves. You know you've got a job to do. Do it.
Correct. Jimbo, mate, if people want to find out more about Talking Triathlon, what do they need to do?
If you want to support the show, jump on at patreon.com/talking triathlon. If you want to follow Tim, he's at T14 on Instagram, and I'm at bale.james85 on Instagram. We are at Talking Triathlon on Instagram. If you join the Patreon group, you'll get access to the monthly bonus episode and the social group, and we'll put you in the WhatsApp group, which is a never-ending source of entertainment. If you're not a part of the Patreon group and you want to leave a comment or get in touch, the best place to do that is probably YouTube. If you are interested in being part of the Ultimate Triathlon Raffle, then the link is in the show notes. As I said earlier, various donation amounts will get you an entry into the prize draw.
And if you just want to donate and not win a prize, you can still donate to Midas, which is in there. I said to James before we hit record, I said, here I have been just like asking for donations, and then he does this, and I feel this pressure that I need to like up my game a bit. So watch this space. Well, I'm actually going pretty well with my fundraising. So again, thank you to everybody who has donated too. We've had a few listeners who have jumped on board and made some donations. But yeah, definitely support James's. Let's get into that £2,000 target because the race is getting close. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for listening, James Bale. Thank you, mates. We'll be back next week. And then the week after, you're going to find a replacement because I'm away. But yeah.
I am indeed.
Cheers, guys. Talk to you later.
Cheerio.